The beauty of the 10th Assembly, I've said this before, and I'll continue to say it, because for me, from the other side where I came from before going into politics and becoming a parliamentarian, I am actually excited, at the kind of leadership being provided by His Excellency Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas. Because a system or a leadership that upholds the principle of transparency and accountability. And you see, accountability cannot just start. You can't go out and begin to tell the MDAs, you must be accountable. We want to see transparency in your business. The conduct of that leadership must on its own reflect what the leadership is preaching. And that is why I'm so much in love with the leadership of the House today under His Excellency Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas. Because you see that that transparency, from our discussions in the House, our motions and views, the kind of leadership that he's providing. It is one. And you saw what happened when His Excellency President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu visited the Parliament House. After the vote of thanks by the Right Honorable Speaker, the President stood up. You see, we have categories of leaders as far as the world is concerned. There are some leaders who want to, be bamboozled into nice speeches, good talk, and people clap for them. But, we have a different kind of president. He's not one that is easily given to praises. He's a president who is also intellectually sound. So when he sees an intellect, he recognizes that. He wants to see, people in parliament. Asiwaju is one president that even his haters, his enemies, those who criticize him, you see him trying to relate with them because he believes in picking something useful from every, discourse that people engage in. And that was why he stood up that day after the Right Honorable Speaker, spoke into the text of the budget presentation that he carried out. When the Right Honorable Speaker mentioned the issue of improved accountability, improved transparency in the conduct of business activities, and he went further to say that this budget, the National Assembly, particularly the House of Representatives, is going to be committed to see, one, the budget change January to December period, which, has been a practice of late in the country, but has not been religiously adhered to. We in the House of Representatives want to see that budget cycle. And that's why His Excellency, the Right Honorable Speaker, yesterday opened the floor for members, to contribute to the debate as far as the budget presentation is concerned. And today, again, on the floor of the House, if you move to Abuja, you see that people are also making contributions. And so far, so good. The contributions across party lines, from the PDP, from the APC, Labour Party, and everybody, has been, one that's gone further to commend the effort of the president in putting this document together. So, Mr. Ayori, beyond this document, beyond the scrutiny, beyond what we do, in the next 1 month to, assent to approve this document, what happens? Now, it behoves on us as a House, to carry out our legislative activities in a way and manner that it reflects, the dictates of the 10th Assembly's legislative agenda. One, the way and manner we go about our oversight functions.
Okay. Yes, tell me about that.
It is very, very important.
I think most Nigerians listening to us will be interested to learn of the processes, how this is going to be processed.
Yes.
So maybe that's what you want to embark on.
Yes, it's not a document that will just approve, hand over back to Mr. President, he signs, and they begin to execute without us looking at how it is being executed. To the glory of God, today in the House, in the Parliament, particularly the House of Representatives, we have standing committees that are saddled by our rules, to oversight the various agencies and MDAs. So these committees are going to, adhere strictly to the highest standard of accountability and transparency. And that is why I said that the current leadership, is one that mirrors what we preach and what we have written down as a legislative agenda. If the speaker, does not demonstrate that level of transparency before the members of the House, remember that he will not enjoy the kind of cordial and friendly relationship that is existing, in the House. Today, Nigerians are saying that the House of Representatives seems to be more, more matured in posture, No, it is not entirely like that. It is a question of leadership.
Okay.
If you have a leadership that respects the idiosyncrasies of the 360 constituencies, that leadership will naturally, get respect back from the members. And once the members respect the leadership, the House will be united. And once the House is united, it's going to be in the interest of the Nigerian people.
Okay,
and
so we have, because this is going to require some measure of expertise to be able to look into the details?
Now, let me tell you something.
Okay, because that's going to be important.
Yes, very, very important. Because when His Excellency the Right Honorable Speaker Tajuddin Abbas was setting up the various committees, I've said this to you here on this program before, that it was not my doing to be in this committee where I'll be serving as the deputy spokesperson of the House. I never wanted it. My chairman has been the chairman of this committee.
It's not like you never wanted it. You never thought about it.
Exactly. The chairman of the House committee, Right Honorable Rotimi, Akin Rotimi, has been advisor on communication to minister, to governors and all of that. And today he's speaking for the House. Now we have Right Honorable Abaka Bichi, who is there to scrutinize as the chairman appropriation.
Okay.
He's a very fantastic, good head. He knows exactly what to do. Now we have other committees like Committee on Finance, Committee on FCT, Petroleum, Downstream, and so on and so forth. In fact, another good friend, popular, you all know him, Comrade Kenga Ugo Chinyere. He's the one in charge. Mr. Speaker has handed him the downstream sector of the oil industry and say, you be in charge. He's an activist. And we know very well when we are talking about improved oil revenue and oil production capacity of 1.78 million barrels per day. How are you going to achieve that if you don't have proper people, fit and proper persons, in some of these committees to look at these issues? So, and you know very well that oil theft has been a serious concern as far as this country is concerned. So you now have people like Ugo Chinyere, scrutinizing what is going on in the oil sector. You have Abaka Bichi, in appropriation, and several other distinguished Nigerians, people who, have proven track record. So another area that we must commend, Mr. Speaker, because in time past, you are given a committee in the House to head on the basis of who you know, and so on and so forth. But today, so this specialty, this expertise that you talk about,
do you have the resources that will also help in what you're talking about? Because you see, what I mean by resources is that offices, research people, all those assistants, because there's only so much that one person can do. But one person, talk to me about the facilities available to legislators.
No, we do to a large extent. And because life is a continuous process, what we have at the moment, you remember when Nigerians were talking about the work tools for the parliamentarians, the vehicles, procured for, and we said no. A time is coming that everybody will need this vehicle to move from one point to another. Looking at the situation of our roads, the durability, for the kind of car that we require and all of that. You see, before I came into Parliament, I tell people that a Parliament is an institution that, to a large extent, in terms of what you get, is over-exaggerated. Because you just think that once you are voted into Parliament, you have become a big man. My brother, that is not true.
Yeah, in fact, sorry to interrupt you, Honorable. Whereas what you're talking about is important, but I'm talking about a support system.
Yes, so it's a continuous process.